Now we have to solve this equation for x. Now the equation has a quantity inside the radical sign rather. So what we would like to do first is that get rid of the radical sign. So first strategy should be to let's go ahead and isolate the quantity with radical sign. So I'm going to move this 1 to the other side. So that becomes a -1, right? Okay. And then what we have is square root of 1 plus 3 will become how much? X plus 1. Now it's pretty easy to get rid of the square root sign. That is what we can do is we can square both the sides. Alright, so if we do that, here we have square root of x plus 3 quantity is squared. Okay, just a second. Okay, and that equals how much? X plus 1 quantity is squared, right? So we got x plus 1, that is squared, and again I clicked on, not incorrect bracket, but like a bracket we like using this here. But again, we didn't do anything incorrect, just like, not along the line of everything. So anyways, so here what happens? Square of the square root are just going to undo each other, and let's FOIL this quantity x plus 1 square. So x plus 1 square when FOILed would be x square plus 2x plus 1. So what we can do now is that we can just, this is a quadratic equation, so a good idea would be to put everything on one side. So we'll transfer this over here. Okay, so this becomes a 0. Okay, and or let's just write them in a different order. That is or yeah, that's okay, I said it, so let's do it that way right here. So we have now what we got is x square, right? Then plus 2x minus x would be plus x, right? And then we have plus 1 minus 3 is -2 equals 0. So what happens when we go ahead and factor this, because if the factoring didn't work, then we can use the quadratic formula. So we got this product equals 0. So what we have is that x equals -2 and x equals 1. Now remember this, that when we squared this equation, we got a lot more values riding along with us. So in here we have to check which one of these works back in the equation and which one doesn't. So here is the original equation. So let's check with x equals -2. So if we do that, then what happens is this. Actually, I should have said x equals -2. I don't know why it didn't get typed. All right. So here, if we put -2 in here and -2 in here, what happens is left hand side is a 2, isn't it, right? Why? Because here I have a square root of 1, so square root of 1 is a 1, so 1 plus 1, and then right hand side becomes a 0. So this is, it does not work, right? So this is not a solution of the original equation. So this is not a solution, right? And if we check x equals 1 in the original equation, Okay, then let's just bring the original equation down here. What we have is that we have x equals -1, then we have a -1 here. So what you got then, not -1, I'm sorry, +1, and then +1 here, I'm so sorry. Okay, then you get a square root of 4 plus 1 equals 3, and that means we have to, so you can see that 2 plus 1 indeed is equal to 3. So what we got is this one works, right? So this is an acceptable solution, right? So, and you can even graph and check. Say we graph it with GeoGebra. So here we got our GeoGebra graphing window. So we will just say, okay, x square root of x square, sorry, square root of x plus 3, and then we get plus of 1. So a graph is right there, right? And then we graph x plus 2, the other side of the equation, and what happens is they intersect at x equals 1, and that is the only solution here. All right.